Welcome again to Wood Spun Round. This is Doug. Glad to have you with me. I've got a piece of camphor on the lathe today. I wasn't going to do a video on it, but I hope you can see from that angle. There is some beautiful grain here. I've already got the outside of the bowl turned. It's not sanded or finished, but it is turned. I've got it on a recess currently. I started with a tenon, turned the back side of it with a recess, turned it around. Now I'm starting to work on the inside of the bowl. I did not realize until I got into this top side, this is a piece of crotch wood. You can see the crotch figure right through here. If I had seen that before, I would have done this exactly the opposite, so that this would be on the bottom, and this crotch figure, I hope, would show if we had done it on the bottom. I'm afraid we're going to have some of it, but we're going to lose the bulk of it. Which is just part of the game. This is a piece of camphor that I bought from Elizabeth Ross. Beautiful piece of wood. I love camphor for the color. It has a very vibrant smell to it. If you remember Vick's Vapor Rub, you know the smell very well. Well, let's get on with turning the inside of this bowl. Wanting to see, there's a little bouncing taking place. I wanted to see what's going on. It's like a wormhole right there. There's a piece of it here as well. So there's a worm in this at one time. I hope it's not still in there. There is a knot right there. That's what I was hitting. It was causing the bouncing. Got a nice OG shape on the outside, so I kind of want to follow that on the inside. There's a natural crack right there. Hard to tell what that was. Maybe just stress, because that's right at that crotch figure. Some of that's going to stay in there. We will worry about that in a little while. Probably put a little bit of glue and some shavings in there. I'm going to sharpen up, and we'll get right back to it. All right, I'm sharp, visor down, let's get back to it. Just gonna double check. It felt like my bowl came out of my chuck just a little bit. I'm gonna loosen the chuck, and sure enough it had. I displaced it just a touch. Should spin a lot better now. Yep. See that beautiful grain pattern in the camphor. The bowl at this point is about 9 1/4 inches in diameter. Unless something happens, it should wind up at about 2 1/4 deep. So 9 1/4 by 2 1/4 camphor. The aroma of the camphor is beginning to get a bit overpowering. I may have to stop here in just a minute and get some of the shavings out from under my feet. But let's keep going while we're at 1400 RPM still. Shield down. Alright, up to this point I've left the tenon on here. The reason is I want to work on my wall first as deep as I can go. But I've gotten to the point now to go much deeper. I've got to have this waste out of here, and I can't do that with all this here. So I'm going to have to go ahead and remove my tenon. I'm pretty well into this bowl. Everything is looking good. While I'm here, I may end up with just a little bit of my crotch figure. It's going to be more in the sidewall than it will in the bottom. Most of it is in this dark wood that's going to go away as we get deeper and deeper. But there is some beautiful grain in here. Some of it is very subtle that won't show up until we get some finish on it. But I'm going to start working the center mound down so that I can go deeper into this bowl. Shield down. Stop and adjust the banjo a little far away because we removed that much stock. All right, back at it. We still, even though this is a rough surface, I can see some beautiful grain there. Maybe you can see right through here. That's going to be gorgeous. Same with this over here where this darker grain is. Just looking for, okay, right there is where my included cracks were. Those were interior cracks. Probably some wind damage at some time during this tree's life. All right, we do start getting thick right about where my thumbnail is right there. So it's got to be thinned out. That's why I'm working my way down so I can get some more wood out of the center. Shield down. stopping so I can do a couple of things. One, see where I'm at, which is, like I said earlier, right about there. I need to start thinning out some more, working my way toward the bottom. There's that knot that I've been bouncing on pretty much the whole time. I can do a little more work there. These cracks are going to continue to be included. I may thin this rim just a touch and get rid of, can't get rid of all of it, I don't think. But I want to sharpen before I do anything else. That crotch figure right through there is just gorgeous. I hope a little bit of that remains. I just don't know. There is some of the quilting that you see here. Some of that is I'm seeing signs of it on the back side. I'm even seeing some up here on the rim, but that's closer to that crotch figure up here on the rim on the back side. This area right here is very pretty on the back. Looks like there was even a limb right through here. That's the remnant of it on the inside. There's going to be some beautiful features in this wood. Okay, paid real close attention to my edge this last time I sharpened, and I like it. This is a great tool. This is a Thompson tool, 1/2-inch bowl gouge. Does a fine job. But I am going to I'm going to take one more pass. I'm going to go in on my rim just a little bit and work my way right on down. I've got plenty of meat here. Even at the very top where it's the thinnest, it still loads thick. So I'm not too concerned about the thickness and going through the side. Shield down. Just that little bit of a cut just to see where I'm at, see if I've done what I was hoping I could do. And I did. I took that one crack completely out. This other one, I think I can take it out as well. I don't have to take much off the edge of the rim to get it gone. There we go. Let's try that. Shield down. Did we get it, or do we got to do a little more? Do we got to do a little more? Do we need to do a little more? You know what? We have got it. We got it. Both those cracks have been eliminated. Still have that knot. So I'm going to clean up this inner edge and then work my way right on down. Okay. You see the difference in my shavings. Nice long, very curly curls. Pull out just one so you can see it even better. Here's one. If I unroll that, it's going to want to break. But anyway, nice long shavings, not the dust, but shavings. All right. And what I've done, you saw me roll my tool over the other way. I got this top inch. It is, it's ready to sand. Got some waves right through here from where I'm hitting that knot right there. And so it's giving me some little waves. I'm going to come back. I'm going to go ahead and make another, I'm going to go in another 3/4 to an inch. Work my way on down. Then I'll come back with that shear scrape to clean up this little part as well. So shield back down. All right, that knot is in beautiful shape, beautiful grain right there. I am going to retain some of that crotch figure. I see it in this light wood. It's right through here, and then we have some where that limb inclusion was right there. That's going to be gorgeous, and of course the knot that we see right here and all around it. Everything is good down to this point right here where my thumb, into my thumbnail is. And in fact, I'm going to say we're good there. All I've got to do now is remove that lump in the middle, make a nice smooth bottom, and then it's time for sanding inside and out. Shield down. Before we do that, let's adjust the tool rest. All right, not hitting anywhere. Shield down. Take a look, see what we got, make sure we don't have anything that we've been missing. A little bit of tear out right there, that's some of that crazy grain. So we're gonna make one final, and I'm still feeling. Tell you what, I'm gonna straighten this headstock back up so that I can put my, I've got a depth gauge that'll measure exactly where that is. Here we go. This block of wood, first block, goes right there to give me the depth measurement from my headstock out to the end of my jaws. This rod is in line with the bottom, with the base here. So when I bring it up, to where it touches the bottom of the bowl, it shows me down here how thick my bottom is. And I am not nearly as thick as I thought I was. I've got a good 1/4 of an inch, but that's all I've got. So I am going to make a final smoothing cut from rim to bottom, but I am not going to take very much out of it. This is going to be a very, very fine cut. Just to take out some of the ridges. I'm sorry, I just banged the camera, or banged the tripod. All right. Very, very fine cut. We've been turning at 1400 RPMs. I'm going to crank the speed up just a little more. In fact, I'm going to resharpen. We're pretty sharp, but I'm going to sharpen again. All right, some very light shear scraping around that knot area. It had given me some bumps when I went in. You probably saw that. I've got a lump right there. I'm gonna mark it. There's the beginning of it, right there. And the end of it, right about there. how did I get to 250? It's okay, but I just didn't know how I got there. All right. Probably sand this out. It's not very much. It is detectable by the hand as I go down through here. I believe if even stopping right there, that will blend that enough into the bottom. Okay. Back to 1600, shield down. Pick up the cut, go slowly across. Slow my speed down to 500. For the outside, I'll use my inertia sander. That was 60 through 320 grits. I know you can't see it just yet, but that is so smooth. I see one little area. I've got to go back. I don't know if that's from, yeah, some tools. But I can sand that real quick. Hang on. I'll even show it to you. Was going to use the inertia sander, but I'll just do that by hand. It's just such a small area. Never have changed it from 500 RPM. A couple of reasons for that. One, I don't want to burn the wood. And at 500 RPMs, that allows the sandpaper to actually sand and not burnish. Let's see, I think that's the area right there. Yep. I'm going to mark that so that I can see it really well. And I'll know I should also know when it's taken care of, when all that is gone. Yeah. That's where those splits were. Those little breaks in the grain. Hold it against there. Go back and forth a little bit. I started to say I don't want to burn it, but also want to let the sandpaper work. There's still some pencil lead there. It's not level just yet. So I want to round it over. I'm going to keep it good and flat. 320. I don't know if you can see all the dust that's coming off, all the sanding dust. That's why I run the vacuum. That's why I don't like to keep you here with me while I'm sanding. That's the only reason. I don't care for you to see my techniques at all. It's the dust. And I usually have the vacuum on. Blowing a while ago and reminded myself why I like to have my face shield and often my safety glasses on at the same time while I'm doing all this work. A little piece as I was blowing off between grits, a little piece of shaving got in my eye. So I had to take a minute to take care of that. And I still got a little mark. I need to hand sand that. Just a little bit of 320 just to clean up that edge. A couple of you watch all of my videos and you fussed at me on my last one because I did not have my face shield on. It wasn't with me. I did not have it here. It was in, I live up in northern Kentucky. My face shield was down in Louisville where my parents live. I'd been down there for the weekend and left it. So this past weekend I went down, retrieved it. Now here we are at the weekend again. And I've been using it. Okay, we are ready. I'm going to give it a quick blow. All right. I'm taking a good look. See if there's anything else I need to do to it. I think it's time for some alcohol just to clean it off. Looked right at my alcohol and picked up the wax. There we go. See the inside first so you can see the beauty that's going to be coming up here just a little bit. Look at all that dust. Even though I blew it, I used my compressed air and I blew all the dust out. Still loads of dust. It stays in the pores of any wood, not just camphor, but any wood. There's the inside. Let's get the outside. We'll scrub down with some alcohol. It smells so good. It really does. I've seen a couple of discussions lately where people in various places cannot get denatured alcohol. Europe, it's called methylated spirits. Canada has another name that they can find. It's not exactly the same product, but it's a similar product that does the same thing. California They can't get denatured alcohol, but they can get gallons of camp fuel, which is the same thing. Wow. This is why I like camphor. My wife doesn't like it because of the smell. She does like the results. My son and I love the smell. I don't want it too heavy though. I've been very fortunate. This particular piece the smell has died back as we turned to what at one point it was getting a little heavy, and I thought I might have to clean the shavings out. I've got 6 inches or so right underneath the bed that we'll have to clean out here shortly. All right, that's all for the alcohol. Give that just a minute to dry. But I'll take, those are half sheets. I cut them into quarters. So I folded into eighths, folded again to 16ths, folded again to 32nds. And I will turn it on in and use that as my applicator. Don't know if I'll get it all rubbed out with this one piece or not. Probably not. In fact, I may switch intentionally to a new quarter sheet. Wow. And this is just abrasive paste. This is not even a finish that I put on here. This is furthering the sanding process. But it has beeswax in it. It has oil in it. It has an abrasive compound in it. The beeswax and the mineral oil are only carriers. We can get it put on the back side as well. And what I did not tell you, I still have to turn this around. It's not as if I put a recess on it and I don't have to turn it around. I did not finish it because I wasn't sure where I was going with this piece when I got it started. I knew it was going to be a bowl, but I didn't know if that recess would work. Haven't used recesses enough to have full confidence in them. So anyway, I will use the abrasive paste and put finish on it down to the chuck before I turn it back around. And this backside is ugly where this paper towel is tearing up. All right, I'm going to turn it on. Actually slow. I'm going to go at 250 using the same section. This is the normal routine that I have. If you watched me before, you've seen me do this in the past. My paper towel is shredding underneath the work where it's rubbing on the bowl. You can see it shredding coming out up here. I'm not putting great pressure on it. I am putting a little bit of pressure on it. I want that grit to work in, do its thing. Remember, I sanded to 320. This grit picks up at about 320 and it goes up to 1,000. The huge advantage here is you don't hear the vacuum going. There's no dust flying in the air. Wow. Speed it up just a little more. We're up to 800 at this point. Still getting a good bit of the abrasive paste off. Put a good bit on. Of course, that was front and back, so I still put on more than normal. Flip over to another clean piece. Up to 900. Still getting some residue. Oh, it's starting to feel awfully good too. smoother and smoother and smoother. There you can see some more residue. Let's get another piece. Well, there we go. All right, clean. Let's speed it up again. Up to 1,000. Still get some residue. Just flip it end to end. Turn it up again. Jumps up to 1,200 this time. These speeds are not important. It's just I'm turning it up. Every time I switch to a clean section of paper, I speed it up just a little bit. Still getting a little bit of residue, but it's feeling so smooth underneath this paper. It's amazing. All right, we'll turn it over. I still have not decided what there's no residue coming off. I'm done with this, but I have not decided what we're going to finish it with. I've got wax on my mind. Have a polyurethane. I've got shellac, I've got lacquer, I've got wax, I've got oils. One of these soon days I'm going to get some kind of a light colored wood, turn a very thin bowl, and I want to haven't done one in a long time where I turn it really thin and then do saturate it in oil several times so that it becomes translucent. I haven't done that in a long time. Kind of got a hankering to do one like that. Like my one friend says, just because I can. All right. Hold on. I'm going to turn it off. I want you to see it, but I want to see it too. Here we go. As it comes into focus. Wow. Folks, that is with no finish whatsoever. A little bit of abrasive paste that was down in that knot. Wow. Chatoyance in there. I hope you're seeing that. There's chatoyance in both of these light sections here. Yeah, flashes right there. It flashes all through here. There's some of that crotch pattern that's coming out in that sapwood. This is the heartwood. This darker light wood is the sapwood. This is the branch inclusion that was in here. That looks like another one. Beautiful, beautiful. Wow, I love that. Backside is different because of the position. Got a little of that abrasive paste in that knot back here too. All right. It's probably the only spot. Yep. The branch, the crotch section, this knot. Wow. Wow. The bowl does not smell so much. The shavings underneath my feet smell. They are still loud. Little place right there. All right. As pretty as that is, I think what we're going to do is wax. We're going to use, where you can see it, Hampshire Sheen Food and Toy Safe Gloss Finishing Wax is what we're going to use on this piece today. Made by Martin Sabin Smith. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. I have found out that the same wax, same formula in Canada is not considered food safe. And so if you live in Canada, be careful about calling it food safe. Just because I do doesn't mean you can. Mine here in the United States is considered food safe. I understand in England it is food safe as well. You don't want to put too much on here. You want a nice even coat. Wow. You know, I know not everybody gets as excited about wood as I do. In fact, I have found myself here recently taking it for granted. The beauty that it's in some pieces of wood, taking it for granted. This piece reminds me how beautiful wood is. How God created such a gorgeous medium for us to work with. I've gotten lots of compliments on the little box elder bowl. And you know, I had nothing to do with the colors and the grain in that piece of wood. God took care of that. I was fortunate enough to be able to expose the beauty that was in that wood. Now, this is at 250. All I'm doing is spreading this wax. I'm going to spread it just a little bit, make sure we got good even coverage. Center to edge, edge to center, top to bottom, side to side. And then I'm going to let this wax sit for about 20 minutes. I'm going to go get something to drink. And when I come back, we'll buff this off, see what we got. What we should end up with is the same beautiful color, a little bit of sheen just to enhance it just a little bit. That wax is on there nice and smooth. We'll be back in about 20 minutes. I'll bring you in when I come back in, and we will buff this off. See you then. All right, it has been longer than 20 minutes, more like an hour and 20 minutes. This wax should be fully cured by now. Should be off gas completely. Let's buff it up and see what we can get. Let's speed the lathe on up. There's 12 1/4. Just like with any wax, I'm not putting any pressure. Just enough to hold the paper onto the surface of the wood. And that's it. Good bit of residue there. I'll turn it 180 degrees. This will take a minute or two. In fact, I'm going to give it a little more speed. We're up at 16 1/4 now. finally losing some of that pulling feel that you get when you first start buffing wax off. It should buff up fairly nicely since I let it sit so long. Don't normally let it sit quite that long. Starting to feel really good underneath the paper. Give it just a little bit of pressure now so it can build up just a touch of heat, not much, just a little. I don't want to heat it up and pull it all off. In fact, I'm going to pull it off here and show you here in just a minute. But I will probably put it back on the lathe, not only to finish off the very bottom, but I want to put another coat or two of wax on it. I want it to build. The more you put on, the more it builds, the shinier it tends to get. I'll show you what the one coat does. It's going to be very pretty. I can tell you right now, you've seen as much as I have. Pretty. It's got just a nice soft glow at this point. A little bit of wax down in some of these little crevices. Where did it not go? I know there's some there. Yep. Just knock it out of those little crevices in that knot. These little places over here. Let it give it another bit of a buff. I don't know why I turned it off by that master switch, but I did. All right, let me take it off of here, and I'm gonna leave it in the chuck, but just take chucking all off. That's not what I want to do. That's what I want to do. There we go. All right. There you see a very smooth finish on there. Just a nice sheen. There's some beautiful chatoyance down in this area. That's that crotch figure I was talking about. Didn't I get the dramatic figure like was in the dark part before I hollowed out the bowl? But even in the sapwood, it's pretty dramatic, at least in person. I hope you're seeing that. This part over here where the limb inclusion was, here again, this is the crotch figure coming up this side, right into that bark or limb inclusion there. Not on the opposite side over here. It's just makes for a beautiful piece of wood. Very nice bowl. I just wanted to show you that. I wasn't going to film any of this particular piece of wood, but it was just showing such beautiful potential. I wanted to bring you along. So you've seen me hollow out the inside, do some of the sanding and the finishing of it. I thank you for coming along. This has been a fun journey this afternoon here as we finished out this piece of camphor here at the shop of Wood Spun Round. Well, this is Doug, and I hope you have just a fantastic day. See you next time, and until then, spin them around.